spread like a fucking virus throughout the whole world, where everyone wanted to be involved with it. Everyone wanted part of it. Everyone was like, "Yeah, this is the music. This is the music for the clubs. This is." Hey yo, what's up, everyone? I hope everyone's good and having a lovely day. You know, welcome to literally the first episode of It's All About D podcast. You know, under the Let's Go D podcast. So this is episode one, and I'll title it the beginning of something beautiful. So, without further ado, let me introduce myself. You know, so my name. I'm not gonna disclose my real name and surname, but yeah, okay, let's just disclose it, so people can get a chance to know who the fuck I really am. My name is Setu Ngumalo. You know, I'm a guy from a small town in Newcastle and in KZN, and my stage name or the name that I love to be presented in within the deep house space is, or just the musical space, is the deepest. I'm a DJ and I have this disorder which not a lot of people know about. It's called it's called melan melananiac. You know, that is someone who's addicted to music on an unstable and not realistic manner. So I have that condition. Hence why I started this thing. So welcome to It's All About D podcast. And let me give you a breakdown of what this podcast is basically about. So, this podcast is actually something that I've been thinking of on a long, long basis. Like, it's been something that's brewing in my mind, for like a really long time. And by the grace of God, finally, you know, I was like, yeah, we're doing this thing now. You know, we're doing this thing. We've been thinking about it for like the past few months, and it's something that I know it's going to be special and everyone's going to enjoy because we're tapping into a side that most people don't put notice to and pay attention to. And I'm glad and happy and amazed by the faith of God that I've been blessed with this opportunity, because not a lot of people, I don't know the term that I could use, but not a lot of people wanna, or not a lot of people get the opportunity to achieve an idea that they have at the first go. So I just thank God for that. That finally, you know, I've been blessed with this idea and I brought it to life. So let's talk about it. What is It's All About the podcast? So this is a podcast where we step into the space of music and we go deep into it. We speak about things that I am pretty much sure that everyone thinks about in like the regular basis, but now they never had the opportunity to be like, hey, let me speak about this. Let me tap into this. Let's let's understand what's going on. And there are many people and many other podcasts that I've came across to in like my past few in the past few years. And the one person that inspired me to actually do this and go forward with is, I'm gonna butcher his name because sometimes I do that. I'm not good with names sometimes. But there's this guy from London, or not London practically, but from the UK. His name I'm gonna butcher it, and I'm sure most of all know it. Let me just get the proper term for him because I don't want to butcher his name and get a bad impression on him. But it's Manu. I think it's Manu. The second name, I sometimes can't pronounce it properly because I pronounce it in a South African accent, and especially for the fact that I'm Zulu, it makes sense in an accent. So I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's Manu Naikeni, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong. If I pronounce it wrong, please don't come for me. I'm sorry, man. But that's a person who inspired me to actually go about this thing of actually speaking about music because he does content on a regular basis where he reacts to music that most people don't react to, which is the house spectrum. And technically for him, it's Afro house and mostly any favorite song which he acknowledges and admires. So this podcast was inspired by that and inspired by a lot of things, by the fact that I am a music addict. Yeah, fuck yeah, I am one. And the fact that, you get blessed with an idea and you achieve it. So that's what's going to happen, like going forward in this podcast. It's all about deep because we tap into a space of music that most people don't want to, or most people don't have recognition of and usually don't speak about. So, for starters, I'm a deep house DJ. Okay, I'm a deep house DJ. Deep house is my life, man. It's my everything. Without that thing, I don't think I could cope in this world that we live in. Not even just deep house, just music in general. Like that's the space that I live in. I can't go a day without listening to music. That's how addicted I am. I just can't function. So this podcast is just solely based on music, going deep into the music spectrum and just understanding it. And my main aim and favorite genre that I was introduced to from a young age, growing up, and my dad would usually play house music, fetching us from school, and that's what he would be rocking in his car. And I fell in love with that space because it's such a peaceful and adoring genre you can fall in love with. And house music comes from a very, 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 very long space, guys. Sorry, let me just open my notes. That's how prepared I was. I was like, yeah, today we're doing this thing. And these notes, I've jotted them down like a long time ago. A long time ago, because every time when you have an idea, just write it down, so you won't forget about it. So, okay, let's speak about the house music. The genre that I'll be mostly focusing on will be deep house and a touch of something beautiful that was created in South Africa, which is I'm a piano, but the private school sector. Because yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'll give you a comparison later. Okay, so house music, house music, house music. What is house music? A lot of people don't know the history about house music, where it comes from, and its beauty and eruption in the world. So let's look at it in this perspective. You know, back in the 1980s, I think it was 1982 or 1980, ranging there, the Big Bang happened within the musical industry or the musical lifespan. Boom, boom, 1980, Chicago, house music erupted. What was house music at the time? So there was like a place or the roots of house music, the musical history of it. I'm gonna put it down over here so people can read into it. You can pause the video and just read about it. And it's an interesting factor that you when you're blessed with like the music touch, you wanna understand what you're listening to, where it come from. Its whole root. So back like in 1980, ranging to 1982, you know, something amazing and magical erupted in Chicago, where two musical icons, or not even two, but a lot of musical icons, house music icons, brought this new genre into life that people didn't expect. You know, what actually happened in like Chicago's West Lobe, you know, there were specific DJs. It was DJ Frank and other DJs that played music which was in a tempo or BPM that was ranging between 120 and 130 using the TR 808 with the TR 909 drum machine, something that people did not expect, you know, and that music had a different sit to it, a different kick, because we know back in the 80s and the 90s and whatnot, there was like a lot of music erupting at that time. And most of the time it was like, I don't know if I'm putting it in the right term, but formal music practically, was dominating in that aspect, hip hop was coming to life, all those music types, and then boom, this new genre adoption in Chicago, house music. People were intrigued about it. They were like, what the fuck is this? Because it had a different melody to it, a different rhythm, a different everything, man. Like, I don't want to lie. It was, I really wish I was alive during those times and born, because I would have appreciated experiencing that spectrum, or experiencing that lifespan of just a new genre erupting, something that's different in all types of melody. I'm happy because I also experienced that in my life, like right now, because we experienced the life of piano, a new genre erupting, and it was so beautiful to watch. But all these piano, deep house, Afro tech, Afro house, progressive melodic house, everything, they branch it from here. House music. They branch it literally from house music. Because without house music, if this didn't come to existence, I am 100% sure we wouldn't get so much music and so much beautiful genres that we have right now. And I'm 100% sure that I wouldn't be alive. Because, wow, imagine a world with no music, with no deep house. Oh, no, man. Nah. Get out of here, nigga. Sorry. Get out of here, man. I can't function like that. Get the fuck out of here. So that happened in 1980. Boom. House music erupted. Beautiful thing in Chicago, which spread like a fucking virus throughout the whole world, where everyone wanted to be involved with it. Everyone wanted part of it. Everyone was like, yeah, this is the music. This is the music for the clubs. This is the music that will put people in a happy space and a peaceful space and an enjoyable space. Like they know that, okay, we're rocking now, we're rocking and we're doing our thing, no matter what, we're doing the thing and we're enjoying ourselves, because it adapted from the melody of funky house or funk music, funk music. Funk music was like a disco type, the ones where we all gather in clubs, like they all used to gather in clubs, and when they're inside there, they knew that okay, it's about to go down and it's about to be a blissful time and just be amazing, So that's the whole spectrum of where house music was, adapted from funk music, disco music, and it turned into this beautiful music where it was ranging in a specific BPM of 120, where people were like, okay, we're grooving, it's funky, we're grooving, we're moving. It's not technically disco, it's actually like beautiful music, that we can groove to and move to, and it took the scenes in like how clubs took the scenes, like it went on, bruh. It went on. I kid you not. It was a beautiful thing to experience if you're alive. If you were brought onto earth during those times, it was a very beautiful thing that experience to experience, you know. And a fun fact, the reason they called it house music is because people, or the people who created it, who brought life to it, back then. For them using the TR 808 and the TR 909, those were drum machines that were portable and don't necessarily require you to be in like a formal expensive studio in order to create it. So that's where the term came from, because it was music where it allowed people to create it in like not having to be in an expensive studio or anything like that. I'm sorry if you hear music in the background. I'm a student and I live in accommodation, and how it tends to be, so we just balance this thing, so bear with me. We're growing, we'll get there one day, in a quiet studio or something, because right now I'm using my own room, to really document and express this thing, because it's been something brewing in my mind, and I knew time isn't the essence. Can't wait until I get a decent job or I'm much stable for me to achieve this. So I had to do it right now. So as I was saying, sorry. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So as I was saying, that's where the term house music came from. It was something that people can create without them having to be in a specific studio, expensive studio. They can do it from home. So we just knew that call it house music. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense. Home music, like house music, made sense. Made sense. So ranging in that time period, fast forwarding 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, all those years, different genres erupted from like house music under the house music spectrum. We had your Afro-tech, we had your deep house music, we had your melodic music, we had so many beautiful things, your commercial house, everything, man, that erupted from it. And it was like a beautiful thing. The evolution of house music just progressed in a far more expansional rate. It just grew, like it grew big time, like it grew, bruv, like it grew, man. It turned into something more beautiful than we could ever expect. And that's the beauty about it. It didn't stay on just one um spectrum, but it just evolved different formalities of it. It was so beautiful. And the one that just erupted the most in my heart and that I will focus on is deep house music. Deep house music is such a beautiful genre, man. You don't know, you guys, how much I love deep house music. Like without without the love that I have for it, I don't think I would survive. And I'll keep on emphasizing that because yeah, it has taken me out of the pits of many fucking difficult moments in my entire existence, man. Like I don't want to lie. Without it, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't function. Because I love hip hop. I listen to it, but I'm not a hip hop guy. Like bang it 24/7. I would have my tracks and the ones that I listen to, and most occasions, what I fall in love with is the beat structure. Because I know I can't catch the lyrics. I can listen to a song for like 10 years and still can't catch the lyrics. But the most that I fall in love with, especially in terms of everything in music, is the melody, the beat structure, the everything that has to um compile with the instruments that just led to the creation of such a beautiful masterpiece. So deep house is mostly that, people when you tell them about deep house, all they think about is he's alone. Hey. It's actually like a funny thing because that's how we always react because we don't have most of occasions they are lyrics but we don't have vocals on it, most occasions. It's just a ride of melody, a beautiful tempo, just that ride of a beautiful rhythm and a melody that you just can't express. The only way you can express if you wanna when you wanna express it, you're like, hey man, Isola, boom, boom, boom. So that's how we usually express it. So deep house is something special. It's a genre within the house spectrum that has like a specific tempo to it and BPM, that ranges between differs, on track obviously, but ranges between one 113 or 114 till 120 at max, but that's evolution of it. Now I'm speaking of things of today, obviously, because back then you'd get a deep house track that ranged from 120 up until 125 and it will kick, you can hear the beat fast, like do, 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 do. But it will be compiled in the sense that we're not focusing on house music, but we took a lot of elements from house music and we're not focusing on something that will be distinct, and we're not focusing on something that will be like entirely different, but it's something that will be, yeah, we're actually focusing on something that will be entirely different, because if it wasn't different, it was going to be just house music. So it was like that. That's the spectrum of deep house. And yo, guys, when I tell you that um that thing, which is deep house music, became such a beautiful thing, it's unbelievable to think of. It started like its introduction of it now in South Africa. I can't speak on proper terms of knowing when it was created here in South Africa or when it just developed entirely. I couldn't get the finding research to advocate for that. So the only thing that I know, I'm gonna speak from my personal experience. I encountered this genre. I think it was year seven, which is grade seven in South Africa. There was a specific genre that was popping at that time, that anyone has to listen to it regardless of what at that age, which was music. It also adapted from house music, you know. It was a specific genre, especially during those times. But ska music was the ends. It was the thing that when you play, we dance, we show off our skills, we do everything. It's a banger like crazy, man. So I got hooked on. Hence why I saw like this a tendency of me that when I listen to music, I actually become too attracted to it. Like it's an addiction. I don't want to lie, because I was addicted to core music at the time. And a brother of mine, um, or one of my brothers back at home, he was like, "Hey, dog, y'all be listening to too much Chrome, man. You'll break your ears, because Jalo, it's Chrome, it's Chrome, it's Chrome. Anytime we're chilling, Chrome, 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 we bang like crazy. Like, no, man, you gotta take a taste of deep house. Taste this thing. He sent me some few tracks, of guys who were banging it during those time, which was emo boys, all those guys. And the first track that I listened to, or that I become it was one of the Emma Boys tracks. I forgot the title of it, but that was the one that I knew that okay, cool. Nah, we're listening to something. That moment I fell in love with something that I can't express by words, because I became so invested with it. You know, the love for it grew. I just kept on listening and listening and just feeling every composition and every structure of the music. And it was something amazing and beautiful to witness and understand and just be alive to see. And during my time of just listening to different music of the deep house spectrum, I got a chance to even experience the evolution of it. And the evolution of it was how it just changed from what it was before during those early times, ranging from the 2000s, 2002, right until, let's see, 2019, 2018. Not even 2019, but it's evolution, it's growth, it's change. It was beautiful to witness that, because I got a chance to witness that, because back then, as I told you, deep house music used to run on a spectrum where it will travel at a BPM of like 120, 119, raging up. And then now and today and the past few years, especially particularly in COVID year, that's when things started to change, from my perspective and my listening. It changed early, but from my perspective and my knowledge and experience, things started to change there drastically. The music started to be more slower, BPM started to drop a bit. The music started to what's the term? I forgot the term, but started to have different melodies to it, different instruments, different chords that just made sense. That just created something different. An example of a song that I could maybe speak about that I just knew that okay, this is different now. There was a remix by Buddy Nice. You know, shout out to him. There was a remix by Buddy Nice that he did, and this song, I'll show it over here. Once I remember specifically, but this was a remix he did to this song that um forgive me for my singing and forgive me for trying to explain it, but it was a song, a specific song was like da 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 da. Oh, I can't. Okay, can't. But I'll try. There was a rhythm to it. I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna remember it. And one night I was chilling with my brothers. Me and my two brothers were indoors. Just having a chill session. During the night times in 2021. And we were intoxicated in a manner, by substance abuse. So at that moment when we were intoxicated with just rocking music, and deep house. And then I experienced something so emancipating and beautiful, which was I was listening to that song and I could feel each and every component of that song. I could feel its structure. I could feel the way it was composed. I could feel every single possible thing that I could possibly imagine about the song. And it was something beautiful. It was something that I can't describe by words. It was something so beautiful, man. I, I mostly it was due to substance abuse, but I got a chance to tap into a realm that is undescribable to mere mortals. Yeah, using big English. Well, it's not big, but yeah, it is what it is. So I got a chance to tapping into a realm that was not accessible to mere mortals or in the current state that we are in, or the normal reality state that we're in. And during my encounter with that, I was so amazed. I was so pleased. I could feel goosebumps coming specifically down from my toes until the tip of my head. I could feel my heart beating in a way that I never thought it would feel. I could feel like sort of like this beautiful thing emerging from inside me and just taking a hold of me. I could feel my spirit in a realm where it was comforted by the love of God and just held into one. It was something so beautiful. And that's when I knew noticed that nah, this thing is going into an evolutional change. Because yeah, that was an evolutional change, you know, of how things were. And, you know, me speaking about this, about music, gives everyone a description of who the fuck I am. I'm the deepest. My name says it. I just love something deep. I not even I love something deep, but I go deep into the music spectrum. And that was the beautiful part of it. So let me give you a breakdown of who the fuck I am. As much as I said the introduction of who I am, but now let me give you a breakdown of who the fuck I am, in relation to what I've just told you now about the story of music. I'm sure you guys will understand more about me. As I've specifically said, how I encountered Deep House, my personal experience with it, and how it came about into my existence. So, ranging on into my journey of deciding to be actual fucking DJ. I was having this conversation with my friend slash social media manager, you know, who started something beautiful as well. So he was practically interviewing me. I didn't even expect it. So a lot of these things I'm sure you will remember. So how did the DJ spectrum in me come about? So I got introduced to like deep house, as we know. And there was a year I was a kid, my brother or my mom actually bought me and my brother a computer. And my brother, most of the time, would be on that computer. So he introduced me to what we all know as virtual DJ, the first component that you get if you want to, you know, tap into your musical talent as someone, on a PC or laptop. So that happened. My brother introduced us to virtual DJ. The moment I got that introduction, I was like, okay, cool. What is this? And I fell in love with it. And I was like, yeah, let me go in, let me go in, let me go in. Let's see what is this. And most of the time during that time, because it was early when 2013, 12 day, you know, house was taking the streets as it used to, yeah, as it usually does, taking the streets in South Africa. So we mix house and this new genre just came up, which was called under the sub genres of house music. So we mix that. I was seeing that, nah, man, I can't do this thing. This Chrome thing, this fast life music. I love it, but yeah, I can't DJ out, and. So that came to waste after like years progressing. I knew and had the skills of how to do this thing on the software, but I was like, nah, what am I gonna do it for? Came to waste. After a while, like a long as while, um, I got my first laptop when I did my first year here. When I was coming for my first year here in Bloemfontein, when I get my laptop, first thing I installed Virtual DJ. I knew I won't use it that much, but I knew that because I had the skills to do it, I could play around with it when I have time, have fun. Why not? But something different happened. I didn't just have fun in the normal manner, but I had fun in the manner which it was practically based on deep house music. I remember specifically in 2021, every time when I would open that software application, I would like first track, deep house music, second track, deep house music. There wasn't anything in my mind that's like, let me do house, let me do home, let me do something different. It was like, hey, dog, you open this thing, you're going to do deep house music. It's as simple as that. There's no ends about it. It's as simple as that. Fuck it, get the fuck out of here. You're going to do that. Or you get the fuck out of here. Simple as that. So that happened. And when that was happening, I knew that, okay, cool. There will be times where I was like doing mixes. And I remember specifically my roommate and friend, Spiwe. Um, I would connect my Bluetooth speaker, and we would have a day where we would just like buy alcohol. We're done with school for the week. We chill together, buy alcohol, and just blast music, just the two of us, because we used to live in a sharing room. So when that happened, I would just open the software application, put on Visual DJ, put on deep house music, and we just mix, mix. Transition, well, obviously was the sing button at that time, but I knew I couldn't play around with it for long, so I had to just use my ears most of the time. But it is what it is. Sing button, there's nothing wrong with the sing button. If you're a DJ and you're afraid to do, just press it, man. People don't care. So long as the music is good, people don't care. Trust me. So um that happened. We would just rock the music, rock the music, rock the music, and listen to it, and we'd be like, okay, cool. I would see my nigga, he'd be so impressed. He'd be like, damn dog. Because the song selection was always on top. Because I'm an addict of music, especially deep house. When I listen to a song, I always want to go deep into it and find more. When I find a specific song that's like touching to my soul, I'll go deep and find more and more and more and more and more. That's entirely the the reason why I became the deepest. But you see what I'm trying to mean. You see what I'm trying to say. You guys see what I'm trying to say. So that happened, and that when that happened, usually, um, there was a point during that year I was like, you know, let me do this thing. 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 At the time, my mentor was a big influence in my life who helped me pass like the whole grade 12 matric thing, ranging to varsity. And I spoke to him. He was like, "Yeah, let's do this thing. I'm gonna help you. Support you where I can. You know." So I thought of that, and then at that time, there was a specific time I was like, "Okay, Azin, let me buy equipment, save money." I bought a new Mark Mixtrack Pro controller, you know, as a starter pack. Plugged it in. Now we're like working. Okay, we're doing this thing now. We're actually doing it. We're no longer just doing it on a software alone on a computer or PC. Now we actually have like the basic entry level that can help our mind and hands and skills and everything to just develop what the fuck this is, how we fucking do it. And then it went onto it, doing it. I remember specifically we were going to have like a house party in 2021, 16th December with my friends. So I was like, this is a perfect moment for me to buy this thing and just get my DJing skills up, and actually play for some people as a starter pack. And I did that, bought it. We rocked, my guys. We rocked. We made the things happen. The pots were cooking, we were cooking, and dinner was on fire. And yeah, so I knew that, okay, I gotta find a name. If I'm serious about this, let me find a name. Let me have a name that will distinct who I am. I knew I was a deep house lover. I knew when I that I'm an addict to deep house or just music, and actually, I'm a melomaniac. I knew that when I find songs, I'll go deep into it, and try to get the best of a song. So why not? You know, took the word deep with my addiction and melomaniac, and the fact that I go deeper into finding something. I will go deep. I will find something that matches the same melody, something that is most of the time not heard and not discovered. Because I've recently discovered that. I've discovered that in the past years, 2 years, when I would drop my first mix, like my mixes, that there's music people don't usually are not familiar with, and to be blessed with an opportunity for them to fall in love with it, you know. And then yeah, boom, that happened. Um, when that happened, I was like, damn, okay, let me be the deepest. I go deep and I go deeper, but I know at the end of the day, I'm the deepest out of everyone. I'm the deepest out of everyone. So that was something magical and beautiful to experience. And yeah, and I knew that I wanted to create something that will encourage everyone to be part of this amazing journey that we're walking of listening to music and be part of being in the deep house spectrum. So I created Let's Go Deep podcast, which is sort of like a passive order or passive command to people that most people fall in love with, where I actually, the main aim of us is to introduce or encourage anyone that will listen to music or whatnot to actually listen to deep house music and fall in love with it, you know? because it is a beautiful music genre to me. Music in general, it's life, and people don't necessarily know that. But yeah, okay. We're gonna be back with part two. We're gonna be back with part two. You know, cameras are flashing, and the time isn't exactly the one that I expected to do, but yeah. So it's your boy, the one and only, the deepest, signing out. Peace.